people who are under the rubble after the earthquake. And मतलब जो टर्की है वो काफी prone है earthquakes के, because it's on I guess 3 tectonic plates. तो वहां पे बहुत से earthquakes आते हैं, तो उसके बाद जितना डैमेज अभी भी recent earthquakes में टर्की में हुआ है, तो उसके बाद हम लोगों को ये देखना पड़ेगा कि जो रबल वहां पे क्रिएट हुआ है उसको डिस्पोज ऑफ करने के लिए जगह ढूंढनी पड़ेगी प्रॉपर, सो दैट दोबारा से एस्टैब्लिशमेंट्स क्रिएट की जा सके, लोगों के घर दोबारा खड़े किए जा सके। और सर मेडिकल फैसिलिटीज लोगों को प्रोवाइड करनी पड़ेंगी, बिकॉज ऑफ कोर्स वहाँ पे हेल्थ डैमेज काफी हुआ होगा। एंड देन वी हैव टू टेक केयर ऑफ द फूड सप्लाई टू, क्योंकि खाना पीना भी उतना इम्पोर्टेंट होगा जितना मेडिकल फैसिलिटीज लोगों को प्रोवाइड करना इम्पोर्टेंट होगा। एंड देन वी शुड टेक केयर ऑफ द टेम्पररी शेल्टर्स, एज हम लोग परमानेंट शेल्टर तुरंत नहीं बना सकते हैं, और बहुत हाई चांसेस हैं कि दोबारा अर्थक्वेक्स दोबारा हिट करे उस जगह को जहाँ पे अभी रिसेंटली आए हैं। तो वहां पे भी हम लोगों को टेम्पररी शेल्टर्स ही क्रिएट करने पड़ेंगे ताकि दोबारा ज्यादा नुकसान ना हो।
That's great. Nice thoughts put in, Niharika.
Sir, may I?
Yes, who's this?
Savitad, sir.
Yeah, Savitad, go ahead.
So because I was thinking more on the sense of prevention, because obviously we can't really prevent earthquakes from happening, but instead we can make buildings and in such a way that they are not prone to earthquakes and everything. Because if we use concrete, so that is one of those things which is going to tumble down very quickly when anything of that sort happens. Like, because I was reading about Japan. It is also one of like where earthquakes happen, and they have like buildings and everything which is made from bamboo sticks and steel instead of using concrete, basically. So making our buildings and structures earthquake proof kind of, so that even if it does happen, it does not cause that much of a havoc.
Point taken, Savitas, but I think this point perhaps we would have required in another case study. Right now we are doing a disaster response plan. Disaster has happened already.
Okay,
right?
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, may I share, sir?
Acha, any one of you, before we move ahead, who has used any technological element while doing this planning? That person should come up first to speak about it. None of us. Okay, so let me just change the scenario a little bit, and I'll tell you, if I was also given this particular task, what kind of thought process would have come to my mind, and what I would have done.
So may I?
Okay, first let's take an input from Japji. Yeah, Japji, please go ahead.
So from the technological perspective, in a response plan, the elements I have used is probably robots, which we can use to clear the debris. It cannot be exclusively used for evacuation plans for purposes such as the missing emotional element. Probably it could backfire in some cases, but robots for clearing roads. We can use some machines for gas leak detection. We can have some machine learning or AI models in nuclear power plants, in water plants, so that if there is any damage, that can be detected properly. Fourthly, I think with early warning detection systems, we can use those, and communication with other countries and other seismologists for that matter. And also enabling earthquake response officers probably in buildings and industries, so that proper action can be taken. Also collaboration with international organizations like UN for ready doctors and paramedic staff, and shelters, and some, I mean to say, softwares or machines where disabled people can be dealt with in a response situation. Yes.
Very well said. I think very good points to ponder on. Yeah, so, I think all these disasters, not just earthquakes, but for that, any disaster response plan needs to definitely have a rock solid plan in place to mitigate these risks and the damage which has already been done, how to quickly overcome that and then bring back the life to normal. So based on the different experiences the world has had across the different regions in terms of seeing the disasters, like tsunami happened in Japan. So now what did the world learn from there? And all the learnings that have been happening have been documented, right? And all those documentations are somewhat, some of them are public documents, some of them are classified documents. The ones which are public documents, there are many tools and many processes available with which at least the standard proceedings we have in hand. So in terms of disaster response, what we are thinking right now are all the elements that we should be doing. But if we have to actually construct a step-by-step plan, and we at the same time, if we are not to miss a particular standardized action item, then why not use tools, right? Why not use tools to create these plans in a better way? So I'll share my screen once again, and I'll show you, how we can make use of. Now, why I am purposefully trying to do this particular activity using some of the tools that we have seen and some new tools which we'll be exploring is that whenever you are giving any particular activity, a project idea, whether it's when we were talking about project-based learning or group discussions or increasing the curiosity or collaborative learning, we can make good usage of these tools. We can ask our students also to make better sense of these tools. So what we can do is, again, let me just open the interface of this GPT. Let me define my problem statement properly here. Okay, write or suggest me a step-by-step disaster, because it will give me the base idea. On top of it, I'll start building on my own and the ideas that I have, so that I don't miss out on some important aspect which I may have been skipping. Suggest me a step-by-step disaster recovery plan for the recent earthquakes in Turkey. Let's say, kind of. So what we can see here is, first is ensuring the safety. Second is assessing the damage. Third is contacting all the emergency services. Fourth is search and rescue. Now, in between this, we think that prior to this, there should be a medical assistance immediately provided, right? And we think that this order is not right, or perhaps this particular flow may not work in my dynamic. We can make those alterations because that's what human brain is for. But at least you have all the steps in place which any disaster response plan would take, right? So provide medical assistance, provide shelter and food, restore infrastructure. So as I think I'm forgetting the name, Niharika, you started, right? So we started with restoring the infrastructure, but before that we will have to assess the damage first. So there has to be a plan in place. So perhaps I can make use of a tool like this or any other such tool for that matter. Providing long-term support, review and improve the plan. Now, this is like a broader view. Now, under each aspect, then we can further drill down and start creating our that problem-specific execution plan, right? So now, as students, when they are presenting it, basically they will get an algorithm, they will get an idea of the whole flow, so that their ideas are not too diversified, and then they are practical and implementable. That is how we are able to relate it with their real life examples, right? Otherwise, many a times the project reports that you will end up seeing, and when we see as working with the corporate houses, when certain project reports they come to us, they are nice to read but highly difficult to implement. What we would want from our students is to create a kind of a project report which is implementable, which is not just in a fancy world, in a utopian world, a kind of a fairy tale report, right? Because that is not going to create any benefit to anyone. So that's how we can start making use of such tools. Now, once I have taken, let's say, ensuring safety, assessing the damage. Now, if I have to actually make it more interesting and students to get more engaged with this particular project. Let us assess the damage, and let me make use of Google Earth as a tool to do that. Right? So it will become a little bit more fun. Let me just click here. I'm pretty sure all of us must have been exploring Google Earth on and off. Right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So let's go to Turkey, and we'll see what has happened there, what kind of locations have been affected, what kind of road infrastructures they have. Do they have hospitals around? Do they have some places wherein we can place these people who have been affected? How far are the airports? How far are the railway stations? We can keep on getting inside as much as we want. Oh, right now I think it's on your college. Are we on the top of your college, seeing a top view of your college? Is your college a L-shaped college? Some of us are confused. Let us take a 2D view perhaps. Sorry? Do you have a senior secondary? I don't know. I think it's Government College of Education, Chandigarh only.
Yes, sir.
Do you have this big ground in front of your college?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It is a
Yes, sir.
U-shaped college.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's a U-shaped college. Yes. Not L-shaped, but it's a U-shaped. So this ground is your college campus, or it's a public park kind of? Yeah, it's kind of a U-shape. So you have a L-shaped building here, and then you have some kind of staircase kind of structure coming in from that side. Okay. So you guys sit somewhere in this campus. Wow, it's nice to see. Yeah, so I was just asking, is this particular garden a public park, or it's a
College.
The college ground. It is a college ground.
Oh, it's the college ground itself. Wow, that's nice. So someday, from a satellite view, I may be looking at you, perhaps, if you are outside in the ground. Good to know that. All right. So what we'll do is, let me just type perhaps some city in Turkey. I'm not sure whether Istanbul was affected. I don't think Istanbul was affected, but let's go there for a while. All right, so we have Istanbul here. Now, when we are giving this particular project, so let's say, let me just get a little bit inside, and let us assume for a while that this particular part of the city is affected. All these buildings are, kind of, they got collapsed, let's say. So now what we can do is, using Google Maps, we can first identify, students, while you're giving this particular project, students can start identifying what kind of road network is available, what kind of railway network is available, what airports are available nearby, what kind of hospitals, how many hospitals do I have nearby, how many schools I have nearby, because in the schools and colleges and university campuses, I will find classrooms and halls wherein I can at least park these affected crowd for the evacuation, right? I can invite these medical, all these medicos to come here and establish their facilities in the nearby places, in the schools, universities. Where do I have open spaces wherein I can provide some shelter, open shelter, temporary shelters I can create? Now, all of that can be very easily maneuvered if you are using this technology. So now I know, let's say if, and let me just take a pointer also. Let's say from here to this and this particular locality is affected. Now, in and around this, I know what is there in terms of the infrastructure, right? Now, the project becomes more engaging, more interesting, because now you are actually customizing it as per their locality. Because previous to this, if you just recall like 2 minutes back, what we were thinking was a common disaster recovery plan. Some buildings have collapsed somewhere and we are talking about it. Now that was more of a generic, it becomes really difficult to implement a generic plan as such. So whenever we are giving any particular project to students, try to make it more real. And with tools like this, you can actually engage them in creating a real-time plan. Now this Google Earth itself provides you many tools of measuring the distances. So science teachers, mathematics teachers, social science teachers can make good use of it. Let's say this particular ruler. So if I have to find how long is this particular road, so this is, let's say, around, let me just turn it here. Yeah, so let's say from here to, if I actually have to measure somewhere here, it's around 762 meters. Now, when I'm creating a plan and I want to take, let's say I want to bring in vehicles around. So somebody was saying that we want to take cooperation from the international fraternity to come for help for this disaster. Is my airport close by? If the airport is close by, as a city administration, where can I get these people who are coming parked in between so that they can come for a response, go back, all of that plan. Then students, they get creative. Like each one of us, when we start thinking around it using these tools, we can get as creative and as detailed as we want. So you will have multiple ideas coming in after that, right? So try to make use of these beautiful tools which are available in your projects. We do have something called as Voyager here. Let me just open it for a while. Now, in this Voyager, you have themes related with nature. You have a lot of games. You can apply multiple layers in terms. This is more or less for social science teachers, geography teachers for a matter. You have got street views. Students can actually make use of these street views in their projects. You have about culture, you have about travel, you have about education. So many fields are available, and this is getting updated on day-to-day basis. So every month when you are going to land up to these pages, you will see that there is new content being created. So many projects you can actually create. Now you're talking about, let's say, dinosaurs. Use this as a theme, give it to them, because then students would like to explore this whole tool. And when they're exploring this tool, they will end up learning 5 other things, right? So that's where the curiosity keeps on increasing. And then you conduct your activities inside the classroom. Right? So I'm just scrolling it down so that you just get an idea of how it looks like. I've just clicked on Rivers of India right now, and I think it's just loading for me. Yeah. Now you see here how beautiful it is to see a projection like this. I remember in my school days when we were taught about Indus Valley system and the Gangetic system and all the tributaries and distributaries. It was immensely difficult to remember them. Am I right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
In the Himalayan region, when you have these Indus rivers, the jo 5 rivers hain, it starts from, like, I think Indus, then you have Jhelum, then you have Chenab, then you have Beas, Ravi, these 5 rivers which are there. अब ये कहाँ से start हो रही हैं, इनकी क्या distributaries हैं, इनका क्या patterns है, whether they are flowing from east to west, west to east, what kind of basins are they covering, which states do they pass from? There are plenty of questions which get immediately answered when you have this kind of tool. अब यहाँ पे आपको एक्सप्लेन करने की या उनको याद कराने की जरूरत नहीं है कि कौन से वो रिवर्स है जो यहाँ से वहां जा रही है, कौन सी रिवर्स वहां से पाकिस्तान एंटर कर रही है, कौन सी रिवर्स इंडिया में ही है. All of this students will be able to explore it by themselves. So now, like this, there are many themes available on this platform. Similarly, on Bhuvan's platform, which ISRO has provided, there are many themes available there as well. Start making use of this. तो आप ये जितने ज्यादा ऐसे टूल्स को आप स्टूडेंट्स को देंगे एक्सप्लोर करने के लिए, it becomes easy on your part only for delivering a particular concept. So it saves a lot of time. Second, you become a very proactive, interesting, engaging teacher, which is required for all the educational fraternity, right? Satlaj also somebody mentioned. Okay, college ground, college. All right, yeah. So yes, this is all about the Google Earth as a tool. So हम लोग कोई भी जो प्रोजेक्ट करेंगे, like I gave you an idea of create a disaster response plan. You can think of many such ideas wherein you can make use of these tools. Right? तो उस तरीके के टूल्स को यूज करते हुए, और इसी तरीके जब आप ये टूल्स को यूज करेंगे, you will end up finding 5 others. Start incorporating them. All right? Are we all convinced?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
That's great. So see, you have one tool which is giving you step-by-step process, another tool which is taking you to the exact location. अभी और भी अगर टूल्स चाहिए मेरे को exactly उधर देखने कौन कौन से हॉस्पिटल्स का लिस्ट है, I'll go there also. उस हॉस्पिटल में कितने बेड्स का हॉस्पिटल है, क्या है, I can even find that. So there are, it depends on what's the scope of the project that you are trying to give it to the students. You have tools available. The whole idea is incorporate soft technology, hard technology in your delivery mechanism. All right. So on this note, let me just close this and come back to my last slide, which is towards the closure of the session. Okay. So hope you all enjoyed today's session and just exploring, how we can actually involve technological inputs. Recently, India has launched 36 satellites together from the European Space Commission. These satellites were to be launched by European Space Agency, 72 satellites, which India got an order for it. And of that, 36 satellites were launched earlier in 2019, 2020, and another 36 satellites we have launched in one single rocket this time. It's a great achievement for science and technology in India. And that's where my last image lies. All reverences to great guys from the science field who are executing these projects well. Now the onus lies on us as educators. What usually happens is, as educators and the kind of educators I also come across, only a few of them are techno educators. So we have to evolve ourselves as techno educators and not just educators, because gone are the days when just educators used to suffice the requirements of the students. Now you need to be technocrats, techno educators, so that you are able to empower students in terms of right and apt usage of technology around. Right? So that they don't get too diversified as well. But for us to be stopping them, first step is we are aware of what it is, how we can make good use of it. So keep doing your research at a fast-paced level, and keep incorporating these tools on day-to-day life as much as we use our WhatsApp or a Gmail or any Instagrams for that matter. Right? So WhatsApp, when it started, it was just a communication tool, right? Then gradually it became a media sharing tool. Gradually it became a business tool, right? Along with it, it also became a national time pass tool. So what we need to educate ourselves and the future generation which we are going to deal with is, any particular tool, any technological tool for that matter, irrespective how good it is, will always have its negative impact. So we have to be very cautious while we are using it, at the same time while we are talking about it and convincing the next generation to use it, so that they do it cautiously, and across the years when they do it cautiously, it gets into their habit. Right? So that's all from my side for today in terms of opening our eyes on how technology can be used in education. Give me quick feedback from what kind of learning you could derive from the session today. Some of you can write it on the chat box.
So it was very fun and innovative at the same time, and a lot of things we didn't really know. So it was good to have like proper information about how to use particular things as well. So that was good.
Sorry, I got disconnected. I am back now. Yeah, any particular responses, either on the chat box or you can speak as well? Good to know that, all of us, we liked it. So, just try making a particular lesson plan wherein you have some tools and experiment it with 5-10 guys. You can experiment it amongst yourself also, and otherwise, if you have a set of students, experiment it with them. That itself will give you a lot of motivation to keep on creating such plans. There is another website which perhaps in the upcoming sessions I would talk about it. It is completely based on all the difficult technologies of the world. However, they have created grade 1 to grade 10 lesson plans based on those technologies. So it becomes really beautiful, wherein you are talking about, let's say, metallurgy. And in metallurgy, you are talking about some radioactivity which can impact that, on which scientists are working. But you have created a lesson plan for grade 4 on this technology. Now, what happens is when a child is exposed to terminologies like this, activities like this, when the child grows, first the horizon increases, and child understands that there are different dynamics of and different areas where people are working, wherein in future they will get a chance to work. So their whole mind opens up, and later on they are able to explore and get engaged it by themselves, right? So these kind of tools will immensely help you in creating some theatrical classrooms. So that's it on my side. I think I enjoyed doing this with you all, and I'm glad to see the kind of responses you are putting it on the chat box. Tripti is asking what is that site. That I'll talk somewhere in my next session, Tripti. Let me reserve that resource for the next time. That's
हेलो
great.
सर, मैं कुछ कहना चाहता हूँ सर. सर आवाज आ रही है सर?
Yes, Abhilash, please.
सर ये बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग सेशन है सर. मतलब बहुत सारे टूल्स के बारे में जानने को मौका मिला, और जो नए नए जैसे आपने टूल्स के बारे में बताया, जैसे डिजाइन एआई, जो मैं पहली बार सुना हूँ. और इतना मतलब ये एहसास हुआ कि मतलब जो जिस जनरेशन से हम आए हैं, बहुत बोरियत सी क्लास होती थी, कि जो किताब में जो लिखा हुआ है उसी को हम लोग रटते थे. तो अभी क्या है, तो जैसे ये प्रैक्टिकल आप बता रहे हैं, ये बहुत ही मतलब इंटरेस्टिंग है. अगर हम इसको यूज करेंगे अपने टीचिंग में तो बहुत ही अमेजिंग होने वाला है सर. बहुत 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 धन्यवाद सर.
वेरी वेल सेड. हाँ, एक्चुअल में अभिलाषा, और हम लोग सिर्फ टीचिंग में नहीं, देखो अभी when I am working here, जब हम लोग यहाँ मिडिल, जैसे I sit here in Dubai office and we work around different countries. तो हमारे पास जब भी कोई प्रोजेक्ट रिपोर्ट आती है, earlier it used to come in a lot of text, और उसको comprehend करना ही बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता था. Now when that is converted into a good infographic, it really becomes interesting to read it. तो हम जो भी मार्केट इंटेलिजेंस रिपोर्ट्स बनाते हैं या जो खुद से पढ़ते हैं, our eyeballs are only caught at the reports which are engaging. Otherwise, it's really difficult to go browse through, let's say, 100 pages and then try to make sense out of it, right? तो जितना engaging content हम अभी से बनाएंगे, as teachers हम अपने आप को elevate करते चलेंगे, और हमारे students के पास भी ना एक benchmark set होगा that these are the kind of documents that we have to create, right? So yeah, I think it will really help. All right. Anyone else who would like to give a closure statement, and then we can just call it a day? Nisha ma'am, maybe, yeah, you can.
Principal Dr. Sapnananda ma'am with us. तो मैं उन्हीं से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगी कि वो क्लोजर अपना जो है थैंक्स आपको दें और अपने इनपुट्स भी शेयर करें।
गुड इवनिंग अर्पित जी,
सपना मैम, वेरी गुड इवनिंग।
कैसे हैं आप?
एब्सोल्युटली फाइन मैम। आई डिडंट नो आप सेशन में थे। आई डिडंट रियलाइज दैट।
नहीं, मैंने लॉग इन किया था पर इस बीच में मेरा और कोई सेशन था, सो
अच्छा अच्छा।
given validity address, so I was busy with that, but I was hearing and viewing the pictures of your slides, so it's really appreciable क्योंकि जो आपने टेक्नो एजुकेटर्स की बात की है, so that's the need of the hour। थियोरी में तो हमारे बीएड करिकुलम में एक सब्जेक्ट है आईसीटी इन एजुकेशन, पर वो थियोरी तक ही रह जाता है, उसको कैसे प्रैक्टिस में लाना है एंड हाउ टू इंटीग्रेट टेक्नोलॉजी इनटू एजुकेशन, that is a very challenging task. So despite limitations, once our students are aware of the tools, so they can try and explore more and more। आपने कुछ बता दिए, so हम बच्चों में तो बड़ी inquisitiveness होती है, curiosity होती है, so once they are aware of one tool, they can try and apply other tools also। So the session was, जैसे मैं comments पढ़ रही हूँ, थोड़ी देर से मैं पिछले comments ही पढ़ रही हूँ, so I'm sure our students are very happy and they are really learning new tools, new things, and we are all excited कि lesson planning में कैसे हो सकता है ये apply। So our students must be eager to know that because they'll be going to teaching practice in the next semester, so I'm sure your tools and everything is going to help them a lot, and thank you so very much for all the efforts you are taking to motivate our students, to engage them and to make them a good teacher। So thank you so much.
My pleasure, ma'am. Our pleasure, ma'am. I think it's all being done for a cause. So वो
thanks to courtesy Dr. Gulshan Sharma, पता नहीं वो इस सेशन में अभी है कि नहीं है?
हाँ नहीं, आज मैम वो नहीं है। I think उनकी his mother is not well, so वो अभी शायद हाँ उसमें थोड़ा engaged है, but I think yes, all credits to him for bringing this up for us।
Yes, for connecting us।
Exactly। आज वाले सेशन का फॉलो अप में एंड दिस इज फॉर ऑल द स्टूडेंट्स आल्सो, आई विल बी शेयरिंग अ सैंपल लेसन प्लान आल्सो। तो जब आप लोग लेसन प्लान्स बनाएंगे आप उसको देख सकते हैं कि किस, बट आई मीन डोंट गेट कन्फाइंड टू इट। ऑल ऑफ अस कैन यूज आवर ओन क्रिएटिविटी टू ब्लास्ट इट विद मोर इन्फॉर्मेशन, बट आपको एक आइडिया लग जाएगा कि हाउ लेट्स से आई वाज टॉकिंग अबाउट लेट्स से फ्लूइड डायनेमिक्स टेक्नोलॉजी से हम ग्रेड 5 के स्टूडेंट का क्या लेसन प्लान बना सकते हैं। सो आई विल प्रोवाइड सम सैंपल्स देयर, आप लोग उसको यूज करके ट्राई एक्सप्लोरिंग इट मोर, एंड देन in your next semester when you have this teaching practice, so it will be great। I mean आप लोग को बड़ा अच्छा response and inputs मिलेंगे। Yeah, so thank yeah।
पिछला असाइनमेंट शायद रह गया था डॉक्टर निशा
मैम। हाँ जी, उसके बारे में बात हो गई है, सबको बता दिया।
वो ईमेल मैम वापस शूट करेंगे, ईमेल तो गया होगा बट आई विल गेट इट क्रॉस चेक्ड व्हाई इट हैज नॉट बीन रिसीव्ड, उसको दोबारा शेयर करवा देते हैं।
Sure।
राइट,
Thank you।
ऑलराइट।
Tomorrow we'll be meeting at
Tomorrow the session starts at 2:30 ma'am, correct? So yeah, उसकी डिटेल्स भी आज ईमेल पे सबको शेयर कर देंगे।
थैंक यू सो मच मैम, थैंक यू ऑफिसर। आप दोनों इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे हैं और स्टूडेंट्स जो भी इस सेशन को अटेंड कर रहे हैं, एक बात मैं भी अपनी शेयर करना चाहूंगी कि अभी सर ने जो सेशन लिया उसमें देख के लग रहा है कि ये टेक्नोलॉजी हम सीख लेंगे तो शायद ये हमारी टीचिंग को सप्लीमेंट करेगा, पर आई वांट टू वार्न ऑल द स्टूडेंट्स कि आने वाले टाइम में जब आप जनरेशन अल्फा को पढ़ाएंगे तो ये एसेंशियल हो जाएगा दैट यू शुड बी टेक्नो सेवी, तभी आप सरवाइव कर पाएंगे। अदरवाइज क्लास पे एंगेज करना विल बी अ सीरियस इशू फॉर यू। तो ये कोई ऑप्शन की बात नहीं है, इट्स नॉट अबाउट योर चॉइसेस, यू वांट टू नो मोर अबाउट टेक्नोलॉजी और नॉट, इट विल बी एसेंशियल फॉर यू टू हैव वेरी गुड हैंड एट टेक्नोलॉजी। तो सर इसी के साथ
राइटली सेड
जी। तो चित्रा मैम शायद चित्रा मैम यहाँ थे।
Yes, ma'am, I'm there.
जी मैम, प्लीज माइक टू यू मैम। जी प्लीज मैम।
Yes, so on behalf of ICSI and SARS, and Arpit Dugar sir is already there, so there's no need to say a lot. But thank you so much, and it is always pleasure viewing students, listening to their views, and listening to our experts' views also. So thank you so much, and we're looking forward for tomorrow's webinar. on that, and we'll meet at 2:30. So with that note, saying goodbye to everyone and signing off. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. All the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.